Hello, and welcome to the Greater Richmond SHRM's Rising Professionals Career Launchpad series. If you tuned into our last Launchpad session, you learned about virtual interviewing. So the next natural step in the process would be to land the job. Congratulations, you've landed the job, and now you'll learn about virtual onboarding. We've got a great set of panelists that are going to tell you all about virtual onboarding. But before we get started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Sumi Lanu, and I work for the Department of Human Resource Management for the Commonwealth of Virginia. I've been with the Commonwealth for approximately 14 years, and I am SHRM CP certified and am also a board member of Richmond SHRM and lead the Rising Professionals Committee. So now we'll get started with introducing our panel. Telvis Jefferson.
Hi, I'm Telvis Jefferson, and I work for the Virginia Department of Human Resource Management and Talent Acquisition. I've been working in HR for over 12 years, and I'm a senior certified SHRM professional. I have been a part of the Greater Richmond SHRM for a little over 2 years, and this is my 3rd year participating in the Rising Professionals Committee.
Hi, my name is Jay Barrow, and I lead the talent acquisition function for Southern States Cooperative. I've been in the talent acquisition space for a little over 20 years, and I've supported, I've been a part of Richmond SHRM for a little over 5 years at the Richmond chapter level and the national level.
Hi, I'm Diamond Blathers, and I have been in talent acquisition for about 3 years. I work at VCU Health System, and I am new to the Richmond SHRM, but was an undergraduate member at JMU.
Excellent. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm really excited about this expert level of talent acquisition professionals that we'll be chatting with today. So how different is onboarding since COVID and the pandemic has changed our entire way of the way we conduct work in comparison to what your onboarding process was before COVID?
So, Sumi, we had already started kind of taking a deep dive into our onboarding and orientation processes pre-COVID. So this really helped us. It kind of streamlined all together with us going virtual with our orientation and most of our onboarding. The biggest changes for us was that where before a lot of the virtual aspects was optional, and now it's kind of the standard that we conduct business virtually. So we've been able to fully utilize some of the things that we had in place, such as our new employee onboarding portal. We utilize presentations and virtual onboarding meetings for our new hires. Jay, what about you guys? What have you been doing at Southern States?
Thank you, Telvis. It's actually somewhat similar. We started, pre-COVID, looking at how do we centralize and automate our onboarding and orientation and training procedures and framework, which had historically been manual. And we operate in 23 states in the U.S. And so we wanted to find that common ground, that consistency. And so we did partner with an organization, ADP, to help us implement various technologies and an ERP platform to where we can embed a variety of forms. Online, we have interactive videos and interactive WebEx sessions for our new hires, and really helping to streamline communications, create a cohesive understanding of Southern States and our different business divisions and our different communities that we provide products and services to. So it's been a very positive experience for our new hires, as well as our facilitators in HR and training for Southern States. Diamond, how have things changed at VCU Health Systems for you?
Thanks for asking. So our onboarding process has not changed too much. Part of it was completing some onboarding documents online in our applicant tracking system. So that is still the case for us. We did relocate our HR Express Service Center from inside of the main hospital to an office area where our new hires come for employee health. So they aren't having to maneuver throughout the health system in the middle, maneuver throughout the hospital in the middle of a pandemic with, having concerns about coming into contact with patients. So that was definitely something that was awesome that we were able to do. Our orientation shifted from being in person, due to social distancing. We would typically have around 100 new employees at each of our orientations. So now we have some modules that are completed online, and it's been great. We had, just a refreshment of the materials that they're learning, and we made it interactive. So it's a much better experience, in my opinion, for the new hires.
That's fantastic. Those are great examples of how your employers have pivoted during unprecedented times. What have been some positives that talent acquisition has seen from shifting to this virtual onboarding methodology? And Telvis, we'll start with you.
So for us in state government, I think the biggest positive for us is that we have been able to reach all of our new hires. Pre-COVID, we're geographically dispersed throughout the Commonwealth, so not all of our new hires were centrally located with us in downtown Richmond. So post-COVID, as we transition to this virtual onboarding, we're able to reach all of those new hires, and they're able to kind of experience the same onboarding as those locally here in Richmond. And I think that's had a really great impact, a positive impact on our new hires during the pandemic. We have decided that the virtual aspect of our onboarding is definitely here to stay. Jay, what positives do you guys have at Southern States?
No, thank you for asking, Telvis. Yeah, for us, one is that communication for all of our new employees, and being able to streamline, having that consistent message wherever they may operate, or whatever environment they're operating in for Southern States Cooperative. The other piece, is having resources readily available at any time during the onboarding, as well as the orientation, and even after the onboarding and orientation processes, is having those resources at your fingertips, and automation has helped us tremendously from that aspect. And the other piece, as we've been in an automated, integrated onboarding and orientation environment for a few months now. We peeled back and looked at our operational cost, and we quite candidly were spending more within our manual processes versus an automated, integrated environment and format. So anytime, an organization can add, financial dollars back to its bottom line, that's a great position to be in. So those would be the positives that we have seen thus far, as well as, and very positive and consistent feedback from employees with an automated, integrated onboarding and orientation process. Diamond, how about you at VCU Health Systems?
Thanks, Jay. So I would say a positive for us at VCU Health has been having a virtual onboarding process that kind of already existed. We didn't have to build a new process from the ground up, so that was really awesome. We really just had to revamp our new team member orientation, and we've received some feedback that it was much better than what we were doing previously in person, looking at some of our PowerPoints. So with our new modules and the quizzes and videos and things that are throughout our new team member orientation modules, definitely tons of positive feedback about that.
That's great. I'm glad your employees that are onboarding, given unprecedented times, are having a great experience. So what platforms are you guys using for your virtual onboarding and orientation? And Tavis, why don't you get us started on answering that question?
Sure, Sumi. So as we transitioned, we had to kind of swiftly make that change to virtual, and we basically kind of ramped up our existing platforms that we use. Google Hangouts Meet is what we use for our actual virtual onboarding session, and which is really great because our new hires, we have a variety of equipment and devices that are used. So Google Hangouts Meets is very, you can use it across many different devices and equipments and operating systems. So it works out. Our online employee portal is accessible through any internet browser. So that kind of helps. And we accept, as long as the documents are secure, they can send them over to us as they fill out their paperwork. We've also made a lot of our documents form fillable, and it's able to kind of capture the electronic signature. So that's helped out a lot. But as for our platforms in general, we used what we had existing, and it worked out perfectly for us. Jamie, what about you guys?
Thank you, Telvis. Yeah, for us, we were just prior to COVID, we rolled out a new ERP platform with partnership with ADP, which from an onboarding perspective, it creates an employee or new hire self-service platform with various documents that are fillable via Adobe Suite, e-signature, authenticated as well, and implementing a robust firewall for security measures, but also to Telvis's point as well, making our technologies and our forms adaptable to any employee's device, as well as internet service and browser as well. During the orientation, we utilize WebEx and have corporate accounts and are able to implement and execute that for all of our new hires to access from any type of device, phone, laptop, iPad, etc. And then we also have a SharePoint platform where we house a lot of our documents real time for our new hires to have access to from day one onwards. And then we also have a knowledge training continued development platform called Knowledge Master that's integrated with our ERP platform. So after day one orientation, the new hire is defining their goals and their development initiatives with their manager and their department, not only current goals, but future developmental goals as well through and additional trainings through our Knowledge Master platform. Diamond, how about you at VCU Health Systems?
Thanks again. So we have fortunately upgraded our applicant tracking system, which has our onboarding modules, so our new hires can complete their paperwork there. That has remained the same, but now it is also compatible with different mobile devices. So that's a great thing that we have now. Some new hires had to go to a library or go to a different location to get some of those documents completed. So now that they can use a phone or a tablet, that's a really great convenience for us. Again, we also have those Adobe forms that are fillable PDFs that they submit securely to us. And then, our videos that are housed in our learning exchange, learning management system for our new hires to complete their training there.
Great. You're using a variety of different systems and platforms to bring on your employees with care. So that's pretty exciting. What's something interesting about virtual onboarding that you've learned through this process? And we'll start with Telvis.
Sumi, I'm glad you're touching on this. I think something that's been really interesting is the level of engagement. Um, as someone that has always been close to the onboarding and orientation process and that has facilitated the onboarding and orientation, you always worry about um, how active and engaged the audience is going to be in with while you're facilitating the orientation. And we know that when employees experience an effective orientation, they are better engaged when they start to actually work and onboard. And I have noticed that as we transition to virtual and that we ensure that the new hires get that kind of pre-onboarding materials and information, and they get those tools that they need, that they come prepared and they're more highly engaged throughout the orientation. One thing that we do is we make sure that we have opportunities for new hires to participate throughout the orientation session. And just their level of engagement that we've noticed consistently since we started with this virtual process has been, to me, it's been kind of mind-blowing, because that's what I was worried about from the beginning. It's like, hey, we might lose these people as we start kind of deep diving into, the caveats of the retirement plan and the health benefits plan. But I would definitely say I was pleasantly surprised at how engaged the new hires were throughout the orientation sessions. Jay, what about you guys over at Southern States?
Thank you, Telvis. Yeah, for us, as we've been virtual since March, and operating as an organization, from an operational support perspective from home and virtually, we were somewhat pondering, what happens if technology fails, or we're all operating in uncontrolled environments. How is that going to look and feel, so to speak? And so we've gone through, many onboardings and orientations, and needless to say, it's been very humbling across the organization, with our new hires, with our facilitators, that that technology technology issues arise, and you have to overcome those, or there might be unforeseen spouses or children in the background that need the new hire's attention, and and it just comes completely out of the blue. But we've embraced that. We're humble and graceful about it. But I think also with that, and utilizing this a virtual platform, our orientations have become more conversational versus just kind of speaking words off a PowerPoint or off the page. So we're having more kind of just straight talk conversations with our new hires, and it just flows almost effortlessly. And so that's been a huge win and positive transition for us as we reflect on prior face-to-face onboardings versus versus the virtual onboarding and orientations. Diamond, how about you all at VCU Health Systems?
Thanks, Jay. So yeah, I would say the same things, just, being able to adapt to technological issues, as well as we're seeing some of our new hires super anxious about starting their new team member orientation modules before we have given them the permission or the access to do so. So sometimes they're receiving some phone calls or emails over the weekend when I log in on Monday saying like, oh, I'm not able to get in. I can't seem to access the learning exchange. Why is that? Is everything okay? And just saying, well, yeah, you weren't able to get in over the weekend because we really want you to focus on that today as your official first day. So just seeing that excitement there has been a positive to see, and a little humorous for us all.
That's great. You guys have all had some great, stories and things to reflect on as you've pivoted your process. So we'll get ready to wrap up this session, and just some of the takeaways for our audience would be Make sure you're checking your email for these critical onboarding documents because, as our panelists mentioned, they're communicating with you via email for you to get important information. And then make sure that you, as the new hire, complete everything in a timely manner. Don't get intimidated by the technology because we're all kind of wading through this together. As you can see, some of us have virtual backgrounds, others of us do not. Someone's on a mobile device, someone's on an iPad, but as long as we're here and able to learn, that's the most important thing as you're onboarding with a new organization. And make sure you maximize that opportunity with your new employer to engage and ask great questions as you're assimilating into that new environment. And lastly, I think Jay even mentioned that he's seen children pop in and out during an onboarding. And as a parent, I know that I need to lock doors when it's time for us to record or for me to have an important meeting. So give yourself grace, give your employer grace. We're all working together to get through this post-COVID world, but we're going to get through it. And we're excited that you tuned into this session. To connect with any of our panel members, find them on LinkedIn. Also, look for Richmond SHRM on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We'd love to have you connect with us and tune into our next Launchpad series in August. So thank you so much. Have a great day.